Alright guys, as you all know, both Nettspend and Osamason recently dropped albums. For Nettspend, it was his debut studio album, and for Osamason, this was like his third album that everyone in this underground SoundCloud scene had their eyes on. But regardless, both of these albums had high expectations, and I actually would say that neither of them reached it. That doesn't mean either of them was trash, but anyways. So I asked you guys, or actually 42 Daily, 42 CEO asked, which album do you prefer, BAFK or Jumpout? And I just wanted to go over you guys' responses. So the first comment was, Jumpout just felt like 16 throwaways made in a month. Now I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard Jumpout, I could just not listen to it properly. It just felt so random and gushed together. But as I started listening to it more, certain songs like Break the News, I Got That Room 156. There are a couple more songs. I mean, I like the song Jump Out itself too. Started to grow on me. The only thing was, it just wasn't that crazy. There wasn't that many, there wasn't this one song was that's it, that's the one. You know what I mean? And it's not like Flex Music had, actually Flex Music kind of had that, but yeah. And going back to this guy's point, they all kind of felt the same. And we're gonna get into the okay thing later, and I already did in my Jump Out review, but they were just all right songs. There were leaks that were so much better that we'd heard. And yeah, that definitely hurt the perception of Osama's album, because a lot of these songs just seem regular. So yeah, I agree with it. Definitely. Someone else said Jump Out, but both albums was disappointing because okay, we want to see them on Gyro and Zoot Beats. I think, rather than just taking shots at okay, because if you really think about it, they're picking him and all the beats, so it's not really his fault. And I doubt he's the one who's arranging these albums. The artists are. I think what they're really asking for is versatility. I don't think anyone wants to hear the same distorted 808, two-step hi-hat, and synthy melody every single time. To me, two of the highlights off the Net album were Beach Leak, Circling at the Beat, and F Cancer. And the reason for that was really just the production. And due to the production, he was able to rap with a completely different flow. You know what I mean? The other thing about Osama is I don't know, he has this distorted sound, and I feel like artists always try to outdo themselves. And on Flex Music, if you heard Trenches, I mean that was a single before that, I wasn't on Flex Music, but if you hear that song, it has the right amount of that 808 is really distorted, but it fits, if that makes sense. And on a lot of Flex Music, it fit as well. But with Jump Out, I just felt like it all was super, it was just taken all the way. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the Osama songs I really like have more, they just have simpler production, LeBron James, that beat isn't the melody's really nice, but it's not they're not really doing too much. You know what I mean? Pop, not doing too much. Blonde, not doing too much. Not doing too much. I'm just naming recent examples. Whereas a lot of these beats, if you hear Mufasa is hard, but it's Jesus Christ, bro. You can't play a song like that in the car because the speakers it just doesn't work with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They both could have used some versatility. Bad and Freaky Kid was pretty good. That was pretty good. Okay, so he liked BAFK better. I personally liked it better just because, number one, you just can't beat the anticipation of it being your third project and this guy being his first project. Does that make sense? And actually, this next comment just says it pretty well. BAFK, just because that was Net's first project, and I think he showed a little more versatility on it than Lil O. Both are hard as hell though, and Jump Out keep getting better and better every time I listen. Okay, it's funny how comment underneath keeps building off the last one, but yeah, I think Nettspend had more versatility than Osamason. And even outside of that, Nettspend just has a brighter voice. I don't know if that makes sense. Osama was doing this baby voice and this kind of melodic rapping voice the whole time, and there were a lot of ad-libs. Nettspend was just doing his style, if that makes sense. There was a lot more space. There's a lot more breathing room on a lot of the songs in Net's album as well. But there definitely were some songs that I don't know, I'm just not listening to. You know what I mean? Just cool. Another person said Jump Out really grown on me. Yeah, from my first listen, I definitely enjoy Jump Out a lot more. And the other thing about Jump Out too is they could drop a deluxe and just have all the big leaks. And I think that would really satisfy fans. So yeah. BAFK doesn't sound as same and repetitive as Jump Out. Yeah, I agree. We've kind of been over this, so I don't want to just keep saying the same thing, but yeah. And by the way, that definitely does help when you're listening to an album, because I don't know, if you go back to an album, I'll give you an example of an artist who puts out these 20 song plus albums. Osama's wasn't 20 song plus, but it was still pretty long, and fans rock with it. but this point still kind of stands, is Yeats. Some of Yeats projects that have like 20 plus. I would say the ones that he dropped in the middle, not even gonna name individual albums, they kind of have, you know, when you go back to like those albums, they don't really feel like albums as much just because the production is so similar, and I don't know, singles just stand out a lot more, and you just can't listen to a 20 track album like that, you know what I mean? Whereas BAFK, yeah, I'm comparing with Osama's stuff now, you can kind of listen front and back if you really wanted to. Not that I would, just because there's some duds in the middle, you know what I mean? But someone said none. Jumpout still has time to have a deluxe come out with it, so I'm still hopeful, but right now overall, when it comes to the amount of songs with replay value, it's got to be Nettspend. Jumpout was good in my opinion, but just missing something. I don't know what. Someone said never heard of these albums. Okay, this is another thing I missed saying. BAFK even thought it could have been better. I agree. It's still showcasing more variety vocally and sonically than Osamason. Yes, vocally, Nettspend came different on a lot of different songs compared to Osamason. If Jumpout wasn't leaked twice, it would have cleared BAFK. Still clears BFK though. So this is clearly like an Osamason fan. But yeah, I agree that if he didn't have all those leaks, it probably would have helped. But honestly, you just never know, because leaks also help with anticipation for that. You know, it's complicated. BAFK at least got some choruses and song structures, lol. Can't say the same for Jumpout. He said, what are you talking about, dude? I'm not gonna lie, I don't think any of their fans care about song structures like that, but I don't know. I just felt like a lot of the songs on Jumpout were really busy and Nacho. It's like, all right, bro, say something. This comment also said it well too. BAFK had better music as a whole, rapping, storytelling, much more of a whole experience than Jumpout. I agree. I mean, obviously the leaks kind of ruined part of the experience for Osama because he had to just drop it. But yeah, I don't know. I spoke about this in the Osama video too. BAFK had like a theme, you know what I mean? It had, even if it's kind of corny, it's like this teenager, I guess you could say like, it's like a little punk. I'm not gonna, I hate using that word because it just sounds corny and not really the right thing but to describe. But you know what I'm saying? Has like rebellious vibes, I guess you could say, if you want. And I felt like Nettspend, even though he wasn't saying anything crazy, he had something to say. If you listen to like, what was it? Say Please, and you know, growing up, and he's talking about like experiences and whereas Osama, Nacho, it's like, all right, bro. And then after that, there are more Nettspend, but this is the first tape from Osamason I've somewhat enjoyed. Okay. The other thing too about Osamason is Osama's on his like third album, all right? Flex Music dropped in November of 2023. He dropped Jumpout January 2025. So it's safe to say that he's probably gonna drop his next like album February 2026. Are people really gonna care about Osama like that? It's also, he's 3 tapes in and he hasn't charted. So like, when is he actually gonna sell units? You know what I mean? Because I feel like this landscape changes so much, especially every like 2 years. And there's gonna be a new Osama that's like bubbling up and comes up, and people are gonna kind of forget about him. He might get shelved. Who knows? Maybe he does have a big song in between that helps him, because he really could use that. But I don't know. I just don't know like where, you know what I mean? Because he's not Yeet. He's not like Ken Carson. He's not Lucky, where he's been around for like 20 years. I just didn't see much movement with this album. Even though sonically you could tell he got a lot better and definitely evolved. I just don't think, you know, was enough. Someone else said, BAFK has done nothing but get worse with time. Some of the best beats and some of the worst Nettspend vocals. I don't think his vocals were insane, but yeah, it is what it is. Nettspend also has a lot more time than Osama does, in my opinion. This person also said something I kind of agree with. Nettspend had a little more personality, and some of the songs sounded like some I haven't heard from any other artist in the underground. Jumpout wasn't bad, but it was more mid as far as the whole album goes. Yeah, Nettspend is definitely more creative, and Osamason is more generic. I agree. Someone said, ball hog for life. All right, bro. Yeah, so that kind of concludes this whole video. A lot of the same points, but, you know, just different angles, if that makes sense. From you guys, you know, if you have any other of these, like, debates or question type videos you want me to make, just let me know, and I'll record them. But anyways, peace. Take care. Bye.